Hey guys, how are we doing tonight? How's everybody? How's everybody doing? Oh, sorry, having a little technical difficulties there. Oh, and I forgot to switch out my microphone thing. I'm gonna write that down. I think I already have it written down somewhere, but I have a red like microphone cover, and I was gonna switch it for the holidays. And I feel like if I don't have everything wrote down right now, I'm gonna lose my mind. I had like 15 post-it notes going today, so it was a fun day though. Hi, Mr. Rosebud. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? So Ashley was in here, Isabel and Jan and Aries. Did you see that game? Hey Holly. Vincent's not talking about it. He said I was bad luck. I was like, I left. What do you mean? Wasn't even here. Hey Steve. Hey Alicia. Welcome in, Alicia. Hopefully I got everybody. And if I didn't, I'll get you in a minute. Hey Chopper. Oh, yeah, I saw his comment earlier. He said, yep, let's all agree that Chad Doerman and Adam Montgomery are going to end up pissing us off as much as Letitia did, possibly even more so. And I agree with that 1,000%. I agree with that. That's a very good statement. Well, thank you, Ozzy, for gifting out 5 memberships. Look at that. Everybody get a membership while they're hot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so nice. That is so nice. It's so weird. Like I can't see her picture right here, but I can see it on the iPad. Now I can see it. Let me go like do this and then try to. There we go. On mine, it wasn't like popping up your picture. I was like, where's her picture? So hopefully you guys all had a really good day. Hey Gina, hey Olivia, hey Jesus loves me. It's been an eventful day today. And today's Saturday. I feel like today, Thanksgiving, it threw me off. But we went out and you should see, my place is going to be Christmased out. Like if you guys love Christmas decorations, you're going to see a whole lot from this girl. Cause we went out and we got too much, I think. Probably, well, I don't know, maybe not enough. I don't think you can have enough Christmas though. So let me know if you guys have decorated yet for Christmas. I thought about doing a members live like tomorrow or Monday. We'll do it either tomorrow or Monday, and we can decorate together. If you don't have anyone to decorate with, you could decorate with us. And welcome in everybody. So hey Christina, hey Chloe's mom. Welcome in everybody. I try to get everybody, but sometimes I miss people and I don't mean to. Or sometimes I'll just smile into the camera and I think that you guys think that I'm saying, that I'm saying hi. Ashley said, Boo Thing has convinced me to get our tree tomorrow rather than next weekend. See, Boo Thing knows what's up. Boo Thing is like, we're not wasting a second. That's how Boo thinks. She's smart. Hey, Art of Deduction, how are you? We're talking Christmas decorations. So yeah, I'm gonna put a tree in here. We got 4 trees over the last 2 days. I know it's a lot. It seems excessive, but just we're gonna have them. Okay, we're gonna have 4. I only needed 3. I didn't need 3, but I wanted 3. I wanted 3 new ones to replace my old 3 that I just wanted to get rid of because we've had them for like a few years and they didn't look that good. So we ended up going to Michael's and I found a really nice tree that's like tall and skinny and it's frosted and that's what I wanted. And then I was going to get just 2 regular frosted trees, but I couldn't find any for a reasonable price. I could only find 3. So we ended up getting 3 more at the at-home store. Vincent went with me today. Like I was so excited. He went with me and for like, he didn't sit on any of the furniture and say, come back and get me when you're done. And B, he was like helping me pick stuff out. I was like, and he didn't rush me. See, that's the best one. Like, if you're a woman in the chat, maybe men too, but because there was a guy going and then he was awfully excited to go in there today. But mostly women are excited about the home stores, like Hobby Lobby, those type of things. So if we can get our guy to go with us, then we're doing something right. If we could get him to pay, that's even better. That's even better. So we're going to talk about Chad Doerman tonight. I think that this is actually a case that's a little bit closer to me than I thought originally. I thought it was, I'm going to look up the exact address, but I thought it was about an hour and 15, but it could be anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour and 15. So I will be there when trial starts, and I will be there for opening statements at least. So, hey, Terry, welcome in. And thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome. Oh, I love your little bird picture. That's pretty. That's pretty. Hello, Queen Olive. Welcome in, everybody. You have a Grinch tree in your dining room? That's so fun. That's so fun. Isabel, do you have an Elvis tree? That would be really awesome if you did. They had like black Christmas trees there. And I'm not a fan of like black Christmas trees really, because I mean, you know, it's black, but I thought that would be really cool if you got it for like, if you decorated it with like some like really cool bulbs, like white, I did all white bulbs. And then you could always have it from, you know, Halloween and then bring it into Christmas. I don't know. I just thought they were pretty cool. They had a few of those there. So, but tonight we're going to go over Chad Doerman. Like I said, if you guys don't mind just taking a second to hit the like button, and I do this every time. As soon as I tell you guys to hit the like button, I remind myself to tell you my name. That's very rude. But I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. And welcome to the channel, everybody. Yeah, a black Christmas tree list. I was like, I don't know. I'm going out of my like comfort zones now. I'm trying to, I didn't buy one, but that's why I went with the snow, like frosted tree this year. And I don't know if those are like in trend, but there's a lot of them. I don't know what's in trend. We just were grabbing stuff. It seemed like today. We were just trying to, you know, get everything kind of done so that way we could put it all up. But, you know, he'll be putting it up and then I'll be decorating. Let me get my stuff up here. I'm going to add their picture here since we'll be talking about them. He does have a trial date. So Chad Doerman does have a trial date. It's of July 8th, 2024. It's going to be a 4-week trial. And that actually surprised me. And I'll tell you a lot about this case as we're going through it too. But that actually surprised me that they're going to do 4 weeks, because just with like Caitlin Armstrong case, they only did 2 weeks with her. And she, flew to Costa Rica for 45 days and pieced out. So and this case seems like pretty much open and shut. You know, he confessed, he had the rifle next to him. The kids were right there in the side yard. But, you know, you never know. Well, I don't know, Queen Olive. I have no idea what he's going to try. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's thinking. He's not thinking. I was actually going through old body cam footage that I had of him. And when they read off the charges, like I was watching it again and I'm like, he's just chilling. Like he's literally doesn't even like the only face he makes is like this kind of like, oh, man, you know, like so many charges, charges, because he did get a lot. So he's accused of executing his 3 sons outside of his home in Clermont County, Ohio. He has been charged with 9 counts of aggravated 7 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felonious assault. So he's got a lot of charges on him. So this is going to be an update on this case. And I do have a lot of information on my playlist about this case. So if you guys need any information or refreshers, the playlist is under Chad Doerman, and it's on my main page. So you guys can check that out. And if you guys would like to become a channel member, I'm going to put that link in the chat for you guys. He's so calm, cool, and collected when they arrested him. Yeah, Chloe's mom. He was just hanging out there, just ready. Like I know that it was premeditated, because we're finding out now, but it's like, how can you be that cool, calm, and collected? I mean, he's crying a little bit, but he's just like, he was more concerned about his dog. Don't shoot my dog. Remember, I almost forgot about that until we start. That's why I love talking about these cases, because then it reminds me of how evil a person can be. He's like, don't worry about his kids that are laying on the ground, but his dog. If you don't mess with my dog won't mess with you. who cares about the dog right now? I mean, I love the dog. I love dogs. Don't do nothing to the dog. But you know what I mean? Like, really though, guy, don't worry about your dog. You're going to jail for the rest of your life. Probably going to be on death row. With any, if there's any justice in this world. But I did put a FOIA request in right when this case came out, like right when it happened, because I knew that it was going to, we were going to want to know everything there was to know. So like I said, it's like all the documents and everything are all on my playlist. So, and like the body cam and stuff like that. So, but let's go ahead. We'll get caught up with this article here. Let me share this with you guys. There we go. And then it'll kind of break everything down. I liked your comment earlier, Chopper. I read it when we first got on. Hey, LJ. Do we know if it was a religious cult or something? No, we don't. No, as of right now, no, as of right now, we don't. But I mean, you got 3 precious babies like that. And then, he shoots his wife in the thumb because she's trying to protect one of the boys. Because at first we were like, well, what happened to the mom, and it's just crazy. So we'll read over this and then I'm going to show you a picture of what I'll show you a picture of what the gun looked like. Here is what a Marlin Model 770 HC semi-automatic rifle looks like. And you'll see it in the one of the videos I'll play too. That's like an update video because it shows, back when they arrested him. He's literally just sitting there with the gun. I'm surprised that they didn't just shoot him because that guy was like, get away from the gun. And he just sits there. But here it says, court documents filed in Clermont County revealed new information about the tragic and grisly murders of 3 young boys in Clermont County, allegedly at the hands of their father. Not allegedly, he confessed. This actually came out in July. So this came out like about a month after the murders happened. So on June 15th, county dispatchers received a 911 call reporting a shooting on Laurel Lindell Road in Monroe Township at around 4:15 p.m. Thursday. Body camera footage from officers showed when they arrived, 32-year-old Chad Doerman was sitting outside his home with a rifle next to him. He was quickly taken into custody, and prosecutors said he later admitted to unaliving his 3 sons, 4-year-old Hunter, 7-year-old Clayton, and 3-year-old Chase. Despite allegedly confessing to law enforcement that he was responsible, he pled not guilty in court on June 23rd. Doerman had a pretrial hearing on September 22nd, 2023, and his trial was scheduled to begin on July 8th, 2024, and run through August 2nd, 2024. Wow. A bill of particulars, and that's just like what it says. Like, it's just like the particulars in the case. Was filed in Clermont County, laid out more information about the homicides and the months leading up to them, when Doerman said he had been thinking about unaliving his children. The document says on the day of the unalivings, Doerman came home from work early and asked his wife and the boys to join him in the master bedroom for a nap. So he actually left work early, I believe, that day. Yeah, he left work early that day and he went to the local urgent care. And then he left and went home. So when he got home, he asked him to go into, the master bedroom, take a nap. Next to the bed was a gun safe holding the Marlin Model HC-22 rifle he would later use to open fire on his family. While this is happening, the boy's sister was watching television in the family room of the home. After lying down with his wife and 3 sons, Doerman got back up out of bed and retrieved the rifle from the gun safe. He inserted a loaded magazine into the rifle and shot one of his sons twice. The mother of the children immediately began to render aid to the boy because, that's what your instincts are, man, and yelled for her other sons to run. She's quicker than me. I probably wouldn't have even known. I wouldn't have even realized what I was seeing in that moment. To say run. I don't know if I would even know what I was looking at. That's just, that's incredibly heartbreaking. By this time, the sister had made her way to the master bedroom in time to witness the first shots fired. So she saw her brother, and that's so terrifying. She ran after one of her brothers, screaming for him to keep running. But Doerman gave chase, firing at the boy as he fled. The boy was hit by gunfire and fell. Doerman approached the boy and fired again at close range. The young girl ran back to the house where she picked up another of her brothers and fled with him in her arms. So she was running and she was already gone. And she turns around and tries to go back and get another brother and save him. If that ain't a hero, then I don't know what is. You know what I mean? I don't remember ever reading that before. And I've read this before I came on too. And I've read every document. I don't remember ever. Maybe that just slipped. Maybe that just went over me. I don't ever remember like hearing that. I remember her getting the boys and telling them to run, but for some reason I thought they were both in front of her. Wow, that's incredibly sad. As she neared the road, because that's when she takes off to get help. It says, as she neared the road, Doerman caught up with the two, raised the rifle, and demanded she put her brother down. Oh, I do remember this part. I remember that part. But Doerman attempted to fire the rifle, but it did not go off. It says, the document says the gun appeared to be out of ammunition. The young boy then ran to his mother, who had left the home and gone into the yard to render aid to the boy outside. The young girl began to run towards the Monroe Township Fire Department nearby, telling a passerby who stopped that her father was killing everyone as she fled. The third boy and his mother were approached by Doerman, who bit the woman in an attempt to wrestle her child from her arms. During the struggle, the woman grabbed the rifle and Doerman fired, shooting her through her thumb. In the chaos, she dropped her child, who Doerman shot once in the head. After the defendant executed all three boys, he sat on the side stoop of the residence and watched the boy's mother attempt life-saving measures on her children. So right there, it just shows you that he didn't want her dead, because he could have shot her right then while she was outside rendering aid. He only wanted, and he could have killed his stepdaughter. He only wanted those three boys shot. Now that's why I want to know. That's when I want to know the why. Why those three boys? What could they have possibly done to you? They're three little boys. I mean, they're like 2, 5, and 7. Like they're not even, they're under 10 years old. That's heartbreaking. Okay, it says, in all, 9 total shots were fired. 1 boy was shot once. The other 2 were shot 4 times. The defendant made multiple statements to law enforcement, such as, I did it, take me to jail. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have shot redacted and them. The defendant also gave a statement during an audio and video recorded interview, during which he admitted to having been thinking about shooting his son since October. So what is that? 8 months he was thinking of this. 8 months. And in all of those 8 months, as soon as you have a thought that you want to harm another person like that, especially your own child, then you need to go seek some help. Not just say, oh, that's a weird thought. I won't think that again. Like, I mean, anybody with a little bit of rationality to them would probably go get some help. I just want to know what he has to say. I want him to say something. The defendant made multiple statements to law. Doerman allegedly told investigators he hadn't slept in 3 or 4 days leading up to the murders because the thoughts of having to kill his sons was so heavy on him. 3 or 4 days. Could have got help. That's sad. In total, Doerman faces 21 separate charges connected to his alleged actions on June 15th. He's charged with 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of felonious assault. Oh, did I say 7? I think I might have said. Yeah. No, that was right. Okay. The judge ordered Doerman to be held in the Clermont County Jail on a $20 million cash bond. Now, I don't know if that's like the highest bond ever set for somebody in Ohio, but that's pretty high. This is the most serious offense that we have on the books, Judge said David Gast, assistant Clermont County prosecutor during Doerman's first court appearance on June 16th, one day after the murders. That is it. You can't commit a more serious offense. A neighbor who witnessed the aftermath of the shooting said he's seen Doerman treat both his wife and children poorly. And we'll hear from the neighbor too on one of these videos. He was angry every day, said Richard Kincannon. There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there. Kincannon said Doerman had a temper, yelling all the time and treating his wife like shit. Doerman's father, Keith, said days after the murders that he had no exact explanation for what happened, adding his son just snapped. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was thinking about it for 8 months, and then he didn't sleep for 3 to 4 days before doing it because he couldn't stop thinking about it. No, sir. He did not just snap. Keith. I could tell in his eyes he's hollow inside. That wasn't Chad standing at the arraignment. That was not him. Well, no, that's not Chad. He hadn't slept, and he probably didn't sleep since before the unalivings and 4 days before. So 3 to 4 days, and if he didn't sleep in jail, you know he didn't. I mean, unless he felt better and he went to sleep, could have. I mean, a lot of times criminals will sleep very, very well in jail. I mean, a lot of times if they, even when they confess, they get that like pressure off of them, that relief, and they're able to go to sleep. Now, I don't know. I hope that his sons, every time he closes his eyes, every time he blinks, I hope he sees them. I hope they're always there. I wish everybody would have had 5 minutes with them just to be able to see how fun they were, said Dwayne Kuhn, 7-year-old Clayton's baseball coach. There's nothing that's ever going to take away the time that we got to spend with them, and I cherish every single moment that I was with those boys. I'm just so lucky to have gotten to know and spend the time I got to spend with them. It's going to be a tough road ahead, but if we keep getting the support and the community coming together, I think we will get through this. The association held a memorial for the boys on the baseball field and sold T-shirts with all proceeds going to the family. The daughter reached back to us and said, I want to play this tournament for my brothers, and that just shows you the strength of them and what the community has done to them. Yeah, she wanted to play. She wanted to play for her brothers. That's very touching. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, Ashley, yep. Judge Newman said that's a yep. Yeah, he said that, Alec. Yeah, my 3 sons, maybe, I'm thinking, for some reason, I'm thinking the wife might have been leaving him. I'm thinking that. We cover so many cases, it seems, with DV or, something of the sort. And it always seems like the women are leaving them when it happens. Hey, Stephanie, welcome in. Yes, Chopper. And they're going to have to testify. He's going to let this play out. I mean, unless for some reason, I don't know. Unless for some reason he doesn't. But we'll go ahead and we're going to go to this video. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you guys this little video first. I think it was up here a little bit. Yeah. So this will give you, I think it's going to give us like a little layout of the house. Let me make it bigger.
It all began, according to the document, shortly after Chad Doerman came home early from work and asked his wife and 3 boys to join him in the master bedroom for a nap. The document says Doerman grabbed a Marlin Model HC-22 caliber rifle from next to the bed in a gun safe and shot one son twice. Investigators say Doerman's wife immediately began to render aid to her son and yelled for her other children to run. The document says Doerman's stepdaughter walked into the room and witnessed the shooting and ran out of the back of the home, chasing after her brother, who was already running toward a field. Doerman, according to the document, gave chase and began shooting, hitting his son, knocking him to the ground. Doerman then walked up to his son, where he fired one shot into his head at close range. The document then lays out how the stepdaughter ran back toward the house and picked up the youngest son, Chase, and tried to run from the property. Doerman caught up to them and demanded that she put Chase down. When she did, Doerman attempted to shoot his son in the head, but the gun didn't fire. At that point, Chase ran to his mother on the side of the house where she was rendering aid to her other son. Doerman would eventually shoot Chase at close range, killing him.
Okay, I think that would help it, give it a little bit more, give us some more context to it. Yeah, and you can see on the body cam videos too, my camera, that you can see on the body cam video, they have it all blacked out, like these big black boxes, and it's because those are the kids that are in the yard. So I was going to show you this next video, because this next video will actually, it's going to come up with the cops on his front porch, or on his side porch, I guess you would call it. And he's sitting there with the rifle, just hanging out. And and it looks like she's inside, and she's inside, and she is just screaming, "Kill him." And I've never heard something more true in my life, you know? I'm surprised the wife didn't kill him. Like, I'm surprised she didn't go in the house and get a knife and come back out. I mean, she must have been thinking of her. She must have been thinking of her daughter. Like, I cannot do this because I have a daughter that, you know, that is here, and I need to be here for her because this is insane. Yes, for him. Yeah. Keep up the chatter. Yeah. His poor mom and the daughter. And they're just going to have to learn and, you know, learn how to have a new normal. This isn't going to be, I mean, there's no normal. That is going to be an old life. That's going to be, one day they're going to wake up and they're going to say that feels like a lifetime ago, because it's going to feel like that. It's going to feel like a whole different life that you used to have. I mean, 3 brothers, like, I'm sure their stepsister's probably like, you know, I used to give them so much crap, but I'm sure she misses those boys to pieces, you know, like the laughter and the fun and, you know, just all that like children bring, that especially little boys, especially if there's 3 of them and they're all that close in age, they're just adorable. You know, I'm sure they were a lot of fun. So we'll listen to this here. It's going to give us some updates in the case, and we'll just kind of listen to it and go over it as they talk. And thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate it. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, it helps the algorithm and it helps me. Thanks, guys.
Stand up now! Stand up! Stand up!
EMS is safe and air care is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
The Ohio man accused of shooting his 3 young sons to death appeared in court this week as the judge deals with a flurry of legal motions. We're bringing you the 3 biggest updates from Monday's hearing. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Over now to Ohio, where 32-year-old Chad Doerman is accused of shooting to death his 3 young sons. Clayton, Hunter, Chase. They were all under the age of 8. The deadly shootings happened back on June 15th of this year. Police body cam captured what police saw as they ran to the scene at the home, which is right outside of Cincinnati.
His name is Chad Doerman.
Stand up! Stand up! Moving, hold it. Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up!
EMS is safe and air.
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it.
Pretty wild that he would say he's not going to hurt anyone after allegedly killing his sons execution style with a rifle. By the way, he's even accused of chasing one of his boys down, bringing him back to the house and killing him. During Doerman's arraignment hearing, prosecutors say he confessed to planning and carrying out the deaths. He'd reportedly been planning these heinous crimes for months.
We have here is the planned slaughter of 3 little boys, ages 7, 4, and 3. The first one shot, it was a 4-year-old, shot in the house 2 times, then sustained 2 bullet wounds to the head, causing his death. The second child shot was a 7-year-old who fled the residence, ran some 300 feet from the residence, and was gunned down from behind by the defendant. He then approached this little boy who's injured, incapacitated, alive, shot him in the head twice from close distance. There were powder burns on the boy's head. And then he went after the 3-year-old. And there was a struggle with the mother. He ripped the child from the mother's arms and put a bullet in his head at close range.
I can't go into a whole lot of facts, all right, because this is a death penalty case. And my goal is to have this man executed for slaughtering these 3 little boys.
Now, the boy's mother was also shot during this incident with a bullet hitting her hand. Doerman faces 9 counts of aggravated murder plus other kidnapping and felonious assault charges. He faces the death penalty if convicted, and he has pleaded not guilty. I want to bring in right now law crime correspondent and host of Crime Fix, Anjanette Levy, to talk a little bit more about the biggest updates from this week's motions hearing. Anjanette, good to see you. First, let me just start off before we even get into the motions. My understanding is you know about this area and some of the players, right?
Yeah, I live in Ohio, and I do know some of the players in this case, Jesse, and thanks for having me. This is a horrible case. I mean, we cover so many crimes here on Law and Crime that are just absolutely disturbing. This one boggles the mind. Anytime we cover these cases where parents kill their children, it's so hard for all of us to wrap our heads around this, especially this one, since Chad Doerman was planning this for months. That is what he told detectives. For many months, he was plotting this out. And these are defenseless, helpless little boys that he was supposed to be loving and taking care of. As a parent, it's your job to protect your kids. And he was not doing that. Yes, he has pleaded not guilty. But I think it's quite clear from the evidence that we have, he did it. Just exactly what his defense will be, it has not yet been made clear to us.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. Cover murders and the worst kinds of crimes every day, but it's the ones against children that, I don't know, for me, they're the ones that resonate the most, the ones that are most difficult to shake, the ones maybe the hardest to understand. Now, just to be clear, before we get to what happened in the hearing, we have not gotten any more information about a motive, right? That hasn't been identified by prosecutors?
You know, I think this is just something he said he had been plotting for a long time. I think this is somebody who's really disturbed. And to think that he was sitting around for months and thinking, this is what I'm going to do, and I am going to do this, is just beyond the pale. So
Yep.
Not exactly 100% clear on that motive, other than this is something he wanted to do. And, you know, think about the mother in this case. She's sitting there watching her children be slaughtered. She's obviously trying to do something to protect them, and she gets hit with a bullet. So this is a guy who's got a lot of rage, quite obviously.
Hey, everybody, this is a Morgan & Morgan legal alert. Evidence shows that Google has allegedly violated the privacy of millions of Americans via incognito mode. Your personal information and data may have been unfairly collected and then used for profit. As America's largest incognito my understanding, though, with respect to the legal case, is that there were more than 24 motions that the judge is looking through, filed by both by the prosecutors and the defense. And my understanding is that the judge hasn't officially ruled on any of them yet, but we are learning a little bit more about them. And Jeanette, talk to us about first what Doerman is trying to argue he should be able to wear and not wear in court.
Well, he doesn't want to wear restraints. And we see that that's a pretty common thing in cases where he should not have to wear restraints in front of the jury. And I think that we can agree that that's probably something that he should be allowed. You know, the judge should permit that. When there's a jury in the room, he should be able to appear without restraints. A lot of times, the defense attorneys will argue that even pre-trial, they should appear without restraints because those images go out on the news and people see them. He was in street clothes yesterday, and, you know, he's got the, you know, little belt with the shackles and the handcuffs and all of that stuff. The judge said in court that, look, I'm hearing he's been a model citizen in jail. He's not been a behavioral issue for the people in the jail. He's he's behaved. I think it's interesting because a lot of times we see people accused of heinous crimes. Once they get into this institutionalized environment, they are model inmates. Maybe that's what they need. I don't know. He could be receiving medication. I don't know. I'm assuming he may have some mental health issues. So there are a lot of things probably going on that we're not privy to. But he wants to appear in street clothes and not wear restraints. And this is not surprising to me because his lawyer, Greg Myers, is somebody I've kind of been in contact with or known sort of through the court system for a while, because he represents and has represented a lot of people accused of very heinous crimes, including Jake Wagner in the Pike County massacre. So this is a guy who's been around the block. He knows what he's doing.
I didn't know that was the same attorney. Oh, he's pretty decent. I mean, we'll see.
He's like the chief trial counsel with the Ohio Public Defender's Office, and he routinely files.
He's got a lot of counts against him. I mean, and he's got a lot of video evidence.
Motions such as these when he's representing a client saying, my guy shouldn't be seen in these restraints because you're going to paint a really bad picture of him in front of the jury. So a lot of times what they'll do, and I know what they did in the Pike County case, they have this like vest that they put on them and they put it on underneath their clothes. And if they get out of line or do anything wrong or pose a harm or a threat to the public in the courtroom, they can zap them. And all these volts go in there. There was another case that we covered here on Law and Crime, Anthony Kirkland. He was a big behavior problem in the jail. He's nuts. I mean, the guy,
I remember that one.
I remember that one. Horrible little girl. He's a horrible person. Like, he's just the worst of the worst. And they had this belt that they put on him because there were times they had to strap him to like a gurney and wheel him into court. We were like, what the heck? Like, literally he's like strapped into this
like Hannibal
restraint
Lecter
chair. And so they had a thing on him. And I remember the judge, Pat Dinkellocker, said to him during the sentencing hearing, he's like, you're going to sign this piece of paper basically saying, that you've got a thing on your leg. And if you basically are out of line or you try to act up in this courtroom, the deputies can zap you and it's going to be like 80,000 volts or something crazy going into your body. And you'll probably defecate and urinate yourself right here in the courtroom. So,
Wow.
I mean, there are a lot of things they can do to ensure that the prisoner or the inmate is not seen in restraints in front of a jury. And those are two of the things, the vest and the stun cuff bracelet thing on the leg.
Yeah. And just to, explain a little bit more what you said about what the judge said here, he was quoted saying Mr. Doerman has not been disruptive in any fashion at the county jail. He's not caused any problems. He's been in the courtroom twice and has been very compliant. That will weigh in on the methods of restraint that I will consider at issue at this time. By the way, Anjanette, you covered Pike County? Didn't know that. Let me...
You should say that's an inside joke to all of us around here.
Listen,
so I don't
Anjanette, if it wasn't for Anjanette, we wouldn't probably have known about Pike County. We wouldn't have gotten all the details. It was Anjanette's case. I like to tease her about it because that was yours. That was the one you covered.
Yeah,
but,
there's a behind the scenes thing that goes on with this. So we'll just say, all I have to say are two words: Sam Goldberg. Enough said. All right, and we'll leave it at that.
All right. So there was another big issue about jury selection. Who's going to be selected? What questions they're going to be asked? What did we know about that?
Yeah. So, Jesse, the defense is asking for a couple of different things here. They want individual voir dire. That means you have all these jurors sitting around. Maybe they bring several hundred of them in. And instead of just kind of throwing them in the box and doing things the way they normally do, they bring in each juror individually. And really, I mean, for this case, there's going to be an added layer of jury selection anyway, because this is a death penalty case. So they will have to have what's called death qualified jurors. So before you even get to jury selection, they're going to have to whittle a pool down to maybe like 100 people, 100 jurors, potential jurors who have been questioned and who've said, I can, even if I don't like the death penalty, I'm morally against it, I can follow the law and impose it if I see that it's warranted in this case and that the state has proven the elements for the death penalty. So they want them questioned individually. I don't think that that's unusual. We saw that as well in the Pike County case, at least in George Wagner's trial. They brought the jurors all in individually. They interview them. It takes maybe like 20 minutes a person, sometimes longer if issues arise. They also want people who maybe have been convicted felons and served their time to be on the jury. Typically, you don't see something like that. And I'm going to say this because a lot of times they don't want convicted felons on juries. And there was one case here in Kentucky, actually, where Shayna Hubers, you probably remember that case, her conviction was vacated and she got a new trial. She got a second trial because one of the jurors didn't disclose that he had a felony conviction on his record. It was like something about child support or something. So she got a new trial for that. It didn't work out very well for her in the end because she got a heavier sentence. But, you know, a lot of times they'll frown upon that and they don't want people who have had criminal records on the jury. But I think that you could see like a defense attorney thinking, you know what, there's somebody who's done some time and they should be able to serve as a juror. And maybe this is somebody who can understand where we're going to be going with our case because they've been through the system.
Yeah, a couple of things there, right? So traditionally, like you said, felons wouldn't be able to sit on the jury. The Ohio law actually provides a way that you can restore those rights. And I would imagine for the defense here, they're probably saying, well, these are people who committed really bad crimes. They served their time. Maybe they'll have a bit of sympathy for somebody in Chad Doerman's position. I mean, again, he's accused of murdering his children. Not sure that's the best avenue, but I don't think personally I've ever heard that before. Thought it was an interesting motion. We'll see which way the
I think that's probably a new
decides.
thing. Don't you feel like that's kind of like some kind of new thing that maybe that's like kind of making the rounds and like the public defender and defense attorney?
I haven't heard it.
Circles.
I haven't heard it. This is the first time I've heard it. The idea that you wanted convicted felons on.
Yeah. I can tell you Mark Ticalvi, the prosecutor in this case, the elected prosecutor, he wants Chad Doerman put to death. He has made no bones about that. I mean, Mark Ticalvi, I actually have known him for many years. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I can just tell he is all business and, you know, well, I mean, this is a heinous case. Yes,
this is what he said. He goes, quote, "This is a death penalty case, and my goal is to have this man executed for slaughtering these 3 little boys."
Yeah, I mean that's what he wants. So you know what the defense is trying to do here? It just kind of popped into my head. They're going to have a tough road to hoe here. And Jesse, I really think that what they're looking for is maybe one juror who in the mitigation phase is going to say, they're going to be that one juror who's going to say, we need to give him life and not send him to, you know, lethal injection or whatever.
So it would be interesting. It would be interesting if you have somebody who served time in prison, knows how bad it is and saying, listen, I think he should go to prison for the rest of his life. That should be his punishment. I don't know. We're probably guessing here. But I just thought it was interesting to say the least.
I think that's where they're going with it, don't you? They're like, we need somebody who could be on our side.
I think it's also the sympathy factor. Like, these are people who committed heinous crimes. They might understand where he was coming from, but it could definitely.
That's exactly what it is. The defense wants them to allow felons on the jury. Well, yeah. I mean, no offense to anybody that's ever had a felony, but if you've had a felony, you've known the law probably a little bit. And, you probably have like some sort of, you know, like a lot of people will have some sort of feelings towards, you know, like maybe law officials or the courts or just the law in general. It might not even, it could be a person. It might just be the overall law. So they may get on that jury and just have it in their head, not guilty. Not guilty. Just, you know, I mean, there are people out there like that. We see it in the Idaho 4 case every second of every single day. I get on Twitter and I see it. I get on, you know, YouTube and I see it. Yeah, I can't see anybody saying no to the death penalty. You caught littering once, Teddy said. I remember I was in court for like a speeding ticket or something like that. And so I got like, I used to get speeding tickets. Such a bad person. But I was in there for like a speeding ticket and I was listening to this person get they were arrested or whatever, or charged with littering. They were charged with littering. And what he did was, and this was, I mean, he should have did this. I guess the kid, it was like a younger guy. He was, I don't know, in his early 20s, maybe late teens. He spit on the ground outside of the courthouse, and one of the judges just happened to see it. And he ended up, like, I don't know if it was like a judge and he got a cop to give him a ticket and that's how he got him in there, but that's why he was in there for. This was years and many moons ago, so I can't remember the exact details. But and he considered that like littering. And he's like, I don't care if you're going to do it on my property, I'm going to consider it littering. And I'm like, that's what's up. So I don't know what he's going to try to say his defense could be, though.
Definitely be for the mitigation part. I don't disagree with you. I mean, the death penalty aspect does change a lot of the factors in this case. So I would agree with you. I think it's probably more for the mitigation than the guilt part. By the way, little side issue to talk about that. Not sure if you're aware of this, but one of the motions that the defense filed is they want to prohibit any reference to the trial phase. So the first part of this, they don't want any reference to it as the guilty phase. They don't want jurors hearing it as the guilt phase, which, again, pretty unique motion because that is essentially what it is. You have to determine if he committed these crimes before you can determine whether or not he should be executed.
And I've seen Greg Myers file this motion in the past. So I think that there are a lot of motions that were argued yesterday. You know, I think there were 41. A lot of these were probably boilerplate motions that are out there. I know I've been on the Ohio Public Defender's website in the past and gone through the boilerplate motions that they have posted on there. And I think a lot of people just take those and then they add their own stuff. There's like a template and then they add their own arguments or briefs or whatever to these things. So that does not surprise me at all. I think that's a pretty common thing. And I've seen that in some death penalty cases in Ohio because they're trying to like soften the language.
Right.
So that you don't just go in, oh, the guilt phase, well, must be guilty, you know, that you're kind of conveying a different message about the system to these jurors.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. There was one other big issue we want to talk about. The motion concerning all of the photos and videos of the crime scene. What can you tell us about that?
Well, they don't want anything that's really, really graphic to be seen in front of the jury. And I think this is a pretty common motion that defense attorneys in Ohio file as well, especially in cases where you have something so heinous. And, you know, all murders are horrible, but this in particular is really heinous. I mean, these are children. So I am sure that the crime scene photos and videos in this case are horrific. I am sure that Greg Myers is going to want to minimize as much as he can those really graphic crime scene photos. So maybe you show one that's a wider shot, or maybe you show one that's this. I'm sure the prosecutor is going to say, look, we have to show these because it's going to the premeditation factor or the whatever, because
they definitely need to show those to the jurors, and they don't need no wide angle from the zooming out. Sorry, but not sorry. These jurors need to know exactly what he did to those little boys, so they know when they're convicting him and putting him to death that they're making the right decision, and they're not like, well, what's this over here all the way over there because this is so zoomed out. Like, you know how people be. You know it. They just need to give them the shots, and he needs to look at them. He needs to sit there and look at him. If he needs his head taped to the back of a chair, so be it. But he needs to have to look at what he did. If you're going to go to court and you're going to go through trial and make your family, well, let's not even call him that. That's his old family, make his, you know, his ex-wife, stepdaughter go through this, then yeah, I think he should have to look at those.
With aggravated murder, there are different elements, and premeditation can be one of those elements. The fact that these were kids, that's another element as well. But they're going to want to show the jury some really, I'm sure, and maybe in the penalty phase as well, photographs that show just how bad and how brutal this was.
Well, we also have to remember that prosecutors have to prove their case that a murder was committed and was committed, you know, by gunshots. So sometimes you have to show those photos just to prove the essential elements of the case that this was murder. And those photos. And I think there's 350 photos and videos in this case. Some of them are going to be necessary for the jury to see.
Oh, most certainly. Because if you have like the lead detective who's going to be on this, or maybe the first deputy who arrived on the scene and he goes in the house to see if anybody can be helped, there's probably body camera footage of really terrible things that are going to be shown. And that deputy or whomever was the first to enter that crime scene, they're going to have to say, this is how the investigation unfolded. We get there, guys sitting on the porch with a rifle, and then we walk into the house and we saw these little boys in the condition that they were. So they have to show that stuff. But I'm sure there are some things in there that Greg Myers would rather the jury didn't see. And so this is not uncommon for a defense attorney to ask for something like this. He may not get it, but
Right. Yeah.
you know, you have to ask.
And I believe the judge had said, look, in these types of cases, you categorize them. So there are non-gruesome images and videos. There are not particularly gruesome, and then they're gruesome. And that might be a way that you can separate everything out and try to make sense of it. As of right now, Doerman being held at the Clermont County Jail on a $20 million bond. His trial date is scheduled for July 8th, 2024. And we will see if that date sticks or it will be moved. Anjanette Levy, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody check out Crime Fix.
What do you mean? It better not be moved. Better not be moved. No, we're going to go in July 8th because we have so many trials coming up. I swear what's going to happen is they're all going to end up going at once. You know, we've got Sarah. I mean, we've got so many. We probably have, I don't know how many cases we have like open on the channel. I would say though, probably like 15, 10, 15, 20. Y'all, I don't know. We've followed a lot of cases. So I feel like I need to get like a pager or something, like so when new updates can come up that could like page me or something. Maybe I got to get a team. You guys are my team. Yeah. I think that this case will probably go July 8th as of right now. I mean, because this happened back in June, so that'll be over a year. Obviously, he waived his right to a speedy. Yep, Adam Montgomery, Chad Doerman, Brian Koberger, Sarah Boone. That's another one that's coming up. Richard Allen, Rex Hewerman. My lordy, there's so many. there's like, if I go through, let's see if I just go through just the playlist, not the videos, because we do a lot of videos. And then I'll check we'll check out this other video. Okay, so Madalena Kojikari, that one. We don't know if they're going to go, we don't know what's going on. The mom is in jail right now, so she'll be going on trial. Delphi. Let's see if ones that we didn't already name. Chelsea Grimm, we're covering that case. Caitlin Armstrong already went. Crystal Rogers, Ruby Frank, Rachel Morin, Suzanne Morphew. These ones are just Lindsay Shiver. I'm missing some. Madeline Kingsbury. I mean, there's so many. I could probably go on all night because I've like a lot of the videos that didn't put them in a playlist. So many cases. Yeah. So many. I'm like the news. I feel like sometimes I try to bring as many as we can to the channel, you know, without getting my brain too, you know, mushy. Donna Adelson, we haven't covered that one. I thought about covering that one today. I thought about that today because I was like, man, just because I was just thinking like, you know, what cases haven't we covered on this channel? That's like, you know, interesting. Because I mean, I like stuff that's interesting. I love some true crime, that's for sure. And I think that we might even go back and do some like older true crime cases here, like one day on the week, like one day a week or one day a month. Because I know there's some really good, you know, crimes that are like, you know, that have happened that not like really good, but, you know, interesting crimes that would be, you know, good to bring to the channel for awareness. And then so once a week for the month of December, I was going to do it on Mondays. But I may change it to like Sundays because there's 5 Sundays in the month. But if not, it'll be on Mondays and it's going to be like missing Mondays. And we're going to feature a missing person each Monday for the month of December and do like a full live over them and get them some, you know, just get their voices heard. So I was going to go and show you guys this video here. It's from Court TV. It's just when Chad Doerman, he appears in court for the motions hearing, and he is now going to be dressed in regular kind of clothes because they decided, I guess, the orange with the handcuffs wasn't probably appropriate. Or he's just taken a page out of the playbook of Brian Koberger now, because usually before trial, it's happening more, but usually before trial, they just wear their jail stuff. But it seems like, more and more inmates are doing it. Like Rex Heuermann, he dresses in street clothes. So I'll play this here for us.
You felt like he was just angry, generally speaking.
He was every day. Heard him. There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there.
What would he yell?
All kinds of shit. He was just angry. He knew what he was doing. He planned it. It was premeditated. He shouldn't have a bond. He should never see daylight again, ever in his life. And I think they should execute him the same way they did his. The same way he did his sons is the way he needs to go out.
And he is facing the death penalty. That was Chad Doerman's former neighbor. Doerman is charged with one of the most horrendous crimes that we've really covered here at Court TV. The alleged planned execution-style murder of his 3 sons, ages 3, 4, and 7 years old. Let's take a look at some of the body cam footage from when Doerman was arrested by police. It may be hard to fathom because he's so calm, but the video that we are about to show you is from just moments after the alleged murder spree. What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this? Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him. He won't bite you.
She's in the background screaming. They are so little. They were so little. And he's saying, don't hurt my dog, guys. Don't hurt my dog. My dog won't hurt you if you don't hurt my dog. And he says, I ain't gonna hurt nobody, because he already hurt the people he wanted to hurt. He went after them 3 specifically for a reason. And I don't know if it's because they were his blood children, and they were, with his wife. If it was something against her, I'm assuming it probably was. But he wanted to make sure that she was alive because he didn't try to take her out and unalive his children. I can't wrap my head around it. I never will be able to. And I almost said own. I don't even own any of them kids, those kids you buy. I don't even have any children. And I have nieces and nephews, and I'm a human being, and I can't even wrap my head around this. I think these officers can't wrap their head around what they're seeing, but they were very, very professional.
What's going on, man?
Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm going to get you here.
I ain't running away. You can do whatever you want.
Doerman was in court today for a motions hearing.
He looks a little different now, I think.
Ahead of his trial, which is set to begin July of next year. It's important to note, he is facing the death penalty, which has become a rather complicated issue in Ohio. Scripps News Cincinnati breaks it down for us.
Death penalty cases are different than any other case that you will find in Ohio. Now, it starts normal enough with a jury trial. If you are convicted there, that's where it begins to be unique, because then the jury is asked whether you deserve the death penalty or not. If they say yes, a judge still has to sign off on it. If he says no, you get life in prison instead. But in today's system, even if you get through all of this, it's not clear whether you'd actually be executed at the end of it. Chad Doerman faces the death penalty for executing his 3 boys, 7-year-old Clayton, 4-year-old Hunter, and 3-year-old Chase.
You ripped the child from the mother's arms. Let's put a bullet in his head.
If convicted and sentenced, Doerman would go to death row. In March, Attorney General Dave Yost called the system broken, as no inmate had been executed since 2018.
I mean, it's still in full effect, and it's still the law in Ohio.
Mark Crumbine has defended capital murder cases for decades and acknowledges the current system has significant issues. Lethal injection, drug shortages, and political opposition has slowed the process.
There could be another governor in the near future.
Well, write a law like Idaho and get the firing squad here, because I am sure that we could find 6 people to line up and they would all probably want the magic bullet. And we would have it done. He doesn't need lethal injection. That's too good for him.
Future that might say,
In
hey,
my
let's
opinion.
speed it up. New drugs that cause people to die, that are more accessible. Some of the problems could end.
Both Governor Mike DeWine and Yost called on the legislature to act.
Is there any legislative fix in your eyes?
Well, there probably are some legislative fix. They could, but there again, there's a lot of division. The root of it is there's so many people that are strongly against it and so many people that are strongly for it.
When asked about the delay of executions in Ohio, Tucolvi promised to forge ahead.
Let the facts speak for themselves. He slaughtered his 3 children in the most brutal fashion you could imagine.
Now, I've reached out to both the AG's and the governor's office to see if they have a comment. Yost was not available. DeWine's office did not respond. Sean Delancey, WCPO 9 News.
And as we look ahead, Chad Doerman's capital murder trial is set to begin on July 8th of next year. All right, let's bring back in the tank. Al 1 to the 3rd. Darnell Crosland, and Jennifer Brandt are still with us. And Darnell, I'll start with you. Not all guilty pleas, not guilty pleas are alike. He pled not guilty in this case, but got a confession. And the story is pretty much he planned this thing. He executed them. The wife tried to stop him. And so if you want to say you were somewhere else and she tried to stop him, he got rid of her, not killed her, but got her out of the way, continued the killing. Why a not guilty plea in this case? What's the thinking here?
Yeah, so not guilty pleas pro forma. So you're always going to plead not guilty because you can't work it all out in the first moment. So you plead pro forma not guilty, and then your lawyers could either do a change of plea to guilty by reason of mental insanity if that bears out, or whatever other reasons come out. Also, it gives you a chance to look at the discovery. And
He smirks. I saw him, and I know that, shouldn't judge people because they're not technically guilty until they're, found guilty, but he said he did it, and he shouldn't be allowed to smile. Smirk, none of it. None of it. I've seen him do it twice now because they've played this section, like this clip twice, and it pisses me off even more every time I see it. So I just, and I know, I have a feeling he didn't wear his hair like that before. I have a feeling his lawyer said, part your hair to the side because it makes you look more, it makes him look more boyish, like younger. And your lawyers will do that. They will dress you a certain way. They will have you fix your hair a certain way. They will have you do all kinds of stuff. Wear certain jewelry, not wear jewelry. They're just, that's their job.
and not have a sentencing. Once you plead guilty, you're staring down the barrel of a sentencing. But you plead.
Basically, they need to try to make this guy likable, and it's not going to happen. Not with 12. No 12 people are going to find this guy likable.
Not guilty. You can work things out. You can see if you can get it down to manslaughter. You can negotiate the pleas. A lot of things there. But in terms of the jury here, most places have to have what they call a death penalty certified jury, which means if the juries can't come back with a death verdict, they can't be on the veneer person cannot be on the jury. So if they're death certified, then they go to the second step, and the judge has to find that it's in best, it's in the court's best interest to certify or to grant the death. So there's different layers to it.
All right. So speaking of that jury, Jennifer Brandt, cases like this, you get tons of paperwork, tons of motions. There's a bunch here that involve, or the ones they were listening to today or entertaining today, involve the jury. One of them, they want the jury pool, this is the defense now, Jennifer, to include convicted felons who have served their sentences. That's a new one on me. Maybe they think they can curry some favor there. I don't know. But what are your thoughts?
I think that's exactly right. I think that they might be someone like that might be more sympathetic to him. I don't think anyone can understand this crime and understand what happened, but maybe they would, have some sympathy. Maybe somebody he could possibly relate to. We don't know what his story is going to be. He did plead not guilty, so there's some kind of defense that he's going to put up, and we don't know what that might be. But I guess he's looking for people that will be more sympathetic, because most people would not in this situation be very sympathetic for him.
Going to be hard pressed to find someone to be sympathetic to him. Al, what's interesting is there's been this trend in the defense bar to really start taking control of language in court. One of the motions in this case says they want to prohibit the court or anyone involved in the case from using the phrase guilty phase or guilt phase. We hear that all the time in these types of cases. You get the guilt phase, the punishment phase. They feel that's just too suggestive. I think it's an interesting argument.
That is an interesting argument. I mean, it's certainly a better argument than trying to get like Holocaust perpetrators on your jury. I mean, how absurd is that? How do you have somebody on the jury that has been convicted of a crime and that served their sentence? I don't even think they're allowed to be on jury duty, let alone sitting in a jury panel. Okay, so first of all, that's bizarre. But I do agree that suggestive terms can be manipulative, and that language is very, very it can work to your advantage or your disadvantage. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I don't think that that's a terrible thing. But convicted felons that have served their term on my jury, as I said, I mean, why don't we just put Holocaust perpetrators and let's go with dictators that got away with it, and those are the guys that we would want to have on the jury, and then there'll never be a guilty conviction.
Darnell, convicted felons, they're people too. Should they not have the right to serve on a jury?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I'm very much into the whole second chance and criminal justice reform. A lot of states are now giving you automatic exoneration upon your plea. In Connecticut, we hand you a pamphlet right there as you plead, and 5 years from a felony and 3 years from a misdemeanor after your probation is over, you can be restored. And even in New York, they give you what they call a relief from civil disability. Right. So yes, we can't be hypocrites. If people have served their time, they should be able to come back and matriculate into society. And by the way, it's guilt or innocence phase, and then it's the punishment phase. So they're bifurcated. So it depends on what state you're in. You shouldn't have a problem. They say guilt or innocence stage is one part, and then punishment is another part. And they tell the juries you should not be concerned about punishment. Only render your verdict here. And the court normally deals with sentencing.
All right, fair enough. And I can tell you, if you let the convicted felons into that jury room, it should make for some interesting deliberations. All right, stand by, guys. Time for a break.
Now, I'm wondering if he has another court date set up. I'm going to have to check that. This is what his wife looked like. This is a picture of them. This was on her. I found this online, but this was on her Facebook, I remember, or his, one of the two. I'm thinking it was probably his Facebook, because I got it pretty early on, and I remember getting it myself. So I must have, and I didn't know her name, so it must have been from his Facebook. Because there was a picture, I believe, of the boys too. It's this one here, I think. This picture of them. I think this was on his Facebook. This was like the last picture that he had posted of them. Jan, when I saw that is it Jeanette? Because I really liked it when I saw it the other day when I was sending out your stuff. And I don't know what he's going to try to, I don't know what he's going to try to claim. I mean, the only thing he could try to claim is insanity. The only way that this would ever be fought, I feel like before, like if you to win your case for 12 people, they're going to see on camera that you said multiple times that you did it. Your wife is yelling behind you that you did it. I just think that he's going to have a lot of explaining to do. He's going to have to say that he was mentally broke But then they're just going to say, dude, you're planning it for 4 days. They could try to say, well, he didn't sleep for 4 days, blah, blah, blah. That ain't going to matter. Because what about the 8 months? You said you've been planning this since October. So it's like, what about those 8 months? Chopper said I'm not going to be able to watch this trial sober. No way. Maybe I'll have some drinks with you. That would be an interesting trial. Every time he says he's not guilty, we'll take a drink. We'd be really drunk. But let me check on let me see if there's any court dates for him really quick. Doesn't look like, just says July. But there will be some. They might just not have them on the docket yet. If not, I'm going to look into this more because I have a FOIA request for this case. So they should just be sending me stuff anytime it comes out. I was assuming, but I'm not completely sure on that. So I'm going to go ahead and put in another request because I have like the person's name just to send it right to them. And then they'll send me all the information over. It literally was like so easy when I did it last time. It took like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, and it was free. It didn't cost me any money. So have I been to Cedar Point areas? I have. Yes, I've been to Cedar Point. Yep. Okay. I was thinking Kings Island. I live closer to Kings Island. I'm not a big roller coaster person. You're going to hate me for that. I'm terrified of heights and roller coasters. My mom put me on one when I was a kid. We went to Kings Island and she put me on a wooden roller coaster with her and it only had like a lap belt. And she did it. It was my first roller coaster, like big roller coaster. And I was like 7 or 8. I should have not been allowed on no beast roller coaster anyway, because that thing is terrifying for a kid that small. And I was like 50 pounds and we thought we were on the ride beside us that went upside down. So the whole ride, my mom thought we were going to go upside down and she thought I was going to fall out. It was traumatic, let's just say. So I don't ever ride roller coasters now after that because I just going up and then going straight down. Oh, I've had too many close calls. I'll keep my feet on the ground. But I know that you love roller coasters. Wow. 650 foot and fastest 155 mile per hour roller coaster. No, Make sure your head's back before that thing takes off. Give yourself a headache. Hey, Cat's Life. Hey, Lisa. There are a lot of weirdos in Ohio. There are, except for me and I guess Anjanette Levy. I didn't know that she was from here. I guess we're the only ones that are not. I saw that in someone's I was in someone's live the other night and someone said something like, creators from Ohio suck. And I know that they weren't referring to me. I think I know who they were referring to, but it made me laugh so hard because I'm just like, I'm from Ohio, guys. I mean, technically, I'm from Pennsylvania, but this is where I grew up. You want a bungee jump? Oh, not me. Wedgied. Not me. I think I would like roller coasters if they were smaller. I like the inner, active ones at MGM, those kind of roller coasters. I'm cool with those, all day, every day. Water rides, also cool. Yeah, them roller coasters. But it's weird because I love watching abandoned amusement parks. I love watching people go through them and look at the stuff. I love that kind of stuff, but I don't like to ride the rides. I'm a very strange person, guys. Let me see if I had anything else up here for you. I don't think I did. But I hope everybody enjoyed their night tonight. I actually got the dogs all new beds and the cat a new bed today. Well, the 2 dogs and the cat. So they should be sleeping on their beds, but I bet you they're all in mine right now. But that's okay if they are. I got my cat the cutest bed. I have to show it to you guys tomorrow. It's like a little bucket kind of thing, like a basket, and the bed goes down into the basket. You should have saw me at Target. I took a picture. I'm gonna have to show it to you guys. I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. I went in there for cat food and drinks, and I left with pillows, pillowcases. It was bad, but it's going to be really pretty in here for Christmas. I even got a Christmas blanket. Why did I need it? I don't, but I love Santa, okay? Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to do that, Ashley. She's building her cat's a climbing wall DIY. That's what I wanted back here. So I wanted Vincent to build me these this honeycomb, looking like a honeycomb looking thing or something like that for Rocky and put it on this back wall or just some steps or something. That way he would sit back there and you guys would love him because my cat's awesome. I love him. Hey, Miss Kim, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. You'd have no idea. Thank you. Did I miss something? Oh, Dollywood. The wooden coaster. They have a wooden coaster at Dollywood. See, they tore down the Beast. The Beast is gone. That roller coaster is gone. But I think they still have the Son of Beast, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's gone too. I think that's gone too. Yeah, I think they're all in the wind now. I was 7, so this was a while ago. I think I was 7, 6. I was probably 7 or 8. I don't think my mom put me on. I don't know what she was thinking. I probably was like, Mom, I'm the right height. We can do it. We didn't. She had such a big grip on me that she got off the ride and had these it looked like the Beast got her. It looked like claw marks going down her back. She had these 4 or 5 marks going down her back. Not the Son of Beast. So yeah, so the Beast is still there. Oh, so not the Son of the Beast is still there. Is it really Aries? Well, then maybe I need to go on it. If it's still there, then I need to go on it. And I need to face my fear. I didn't know it was still there. If it's still there, I'm gonna have to look it up. If it's still there, I'm gonna go on it next summer. I'm gonna have to take a picture. Or the spring. And then whenever, if I have a heart attack, you guys will all know where I'm at when I have it. But yeah, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, thank you, Miss Kim. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jan, for you gave out memberships. Aussie gifted memberships. Terry became a new member tonight. I appreciate that so much, guys. I appreciate it more than you guys know. I love doing this channel. It's it's my favorite time of the day. Really, really is. Around I usually will get up in the morning and I'll do something on the computer, and then from anywhere from 10 o'clock until, well, no, I'd say 12 o'clock until 4 o'clock, I just mass clean the house. I just do the same thing every day. Just what I do. And I clean, and then I come back in here and I sit down at 4, and then I don't get out of this chair until 9 or 10. But I love, spending the time with you guys and talking to you guys. Chatting about tub of brown widow spiders. Oh, don't tell Vincent that. He'll be freaking out. He hates spiders. I don't mind spiders as much as I hate stink bugs. I hate stink bugs. Oh, speaking of Dolly, I don't know if Isabel knew about this, and maybe this is what you guys were talking about, but Dolly Parton actually, there was a song that she wrote. I meant to tell, I think this was on Twitter. I meant to retweet this to you. It was on Twitter, and now I can't remember which song it was, but Dolly had a song that she had done, and Elvis wanted to do a cover of that song. But in order for him to do the cover of that song, he wanted half of the royalties. And she said, as much as she wanted Elvis to sing her song and she wanted to hear Elvis sing her song, she knew that her royalties meant more to her than anything, because that's what she worked for. Every one of her songs, she said, was like a child to her. And that child was going to, outlive her when she died and was going to be able to help, provide for her family as well. Not Jolene. It was I know this isn't it, because I know that Whitney Houston sang I Will Always Love You. But it was something like a song like that, I want to say, like a love song. And I bet you maybe Isabel would know it. But I know it was a song that Elvis wanted to cover, and she ended up turning him down. And she said, as much as she would love for him to sing her song, she's like, it is I Will Always Love You. See, Isabel, she knew. Yeah, I read it on Twitter the other day, and I was like, wow. And it was I Will Always Love You. Wow. See, I got a good memory. I have a photographic memory. I swear, I will it'll be a little picture in my mind. Just certain things though. Yeah, David Bowie. Yeah. I know David Bowie. Well, not personally, but you know. Ooh, Aries. That would be good. Taylor Swift and Dolly Parton. That would be a good duo. I wonder if she would do that. Bet she probably would. Probably both of them would. I vote for Dolly and be her adoptive son. I would be. Dolly could help this girl out. I need some volume, some lift, some makeup. I've been wearing makeup the last few days, but it's been so nice. It's been so nice. I go through spurts, but I'm gonna jump off of here. I think that we will, like I said, I think we'll do like a members live, and we'll do like decorating, Christmas tree decorating, because I was literally going to bring this 7-foot tree that I had, our old tree in here, and decorate it with like our old Christmas stuff, and then I was like, no, just bring your little tree. So I'm just gonna bring in a little tree, like 2 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet. I don't know. I got a few of them to choose from. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was, Chopper. Yeah, she didn't want to sell her royalties to it. So that was a different. So it must have been a different song. They must have just had the same name. I didn't know that Dolly sang the song like that. I'll have to listen. I don't really know a whole lot of Dolly Parton's music. I think she might have been like just before my time, if that makes sense. Like I was more like George Strait, Garth Brooks, kind of, you know, Brooks and Dunn, that kind of stuff. Now I will, any 90s song from like a country song from the 90s, I probably know it. Anything that was on the radio, I definitely know it. It makes me so sad. I can't listen to country though. It's so sad. Hey, Cindy, welcome on in. We're just getting ready to get out of here. But I'll be back tomorrow. I was going to do an Idaho stream tonight because there was just so much stuff going on in Misinformation Town, but I just couldn't get my brain to process that. Like, I was like, no. Like, it's just, I saw a post today, and we'll probably cover it. Maybe we'll cover it tomorrow just because it was so stupid. Somebody posted okay, let me find my phone. Okay. So like, if I were to go through and go into my notes app, and let's say I just wrote out like a message, and you know, it was just a message like this. Somebody posted this, and it has no name, it has no social media account, it has nothing. And it's just like spewing crap on the Idaho 4 and about like Dylan Mortensen and that she was involved in this and that and the other. And people are taking this as like gospel. And it's just literally from like I could have typed it up myself. I mean, it doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a time. It doesn't have a location. It doesn't have a nothing. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, it's just, it's a headache. So what I thought about doing was just, because it seems like everybody is going to the start of the Idaho 4 case, because it's all new content creators that are doing this. I've noticed like a lot of them are new. They're just going back and they're like, did you see the grub truck video that Kaylee and Maddie were on it? Yeah, we've seen that since last November. Like, it's like stuff like that. Is there a troll guy out there? Because there's one that was all up in my comments. I like the why questions. Why is this and why is that? And I'm like, I said, will you go please read the court documents? No, he's not, Jan. I checked on him today and I didn't see him. Is he really back? I checked on Justin today. I swear to you, I did, because I was like, let's just see about Justin. Oh, gosh. I don't see his account. Is he on Facebook? Back on Facebook? Because I got his Facebook too. Oh, Lordy. Justin's a headache. He's probably going to come back and he's got 1,000 subscribers. So people are going to see that and go, oh my gosh, he must be telling a little bit of the truth. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what happens. I'm going to tell you what happens in true crime. Content creators mess up all the time. They do it. They mess up royally. They will like tell you the whole time something that will just get attention and get views. And then what happens is they grow substantially off of that. And then they, all those people leave, like, you know, when the next case comes, and they just move on with life like they didn't just mess up for the last 2 years or a year. And then people forget about it because that wave of people that were there for that case that believed all the bull crap, they're out now. They got a whole new wave of people to bull crap. And then it just goes on and on and on. But the creators know. I mean, we know. We know. If you're changing your channel name within the first year of you being on YouTube, I mean, I consider that a problem. I consider that a problem. JLR was, oh gosh. Well, JLR, I have a problem with him for a minute because I do. And I'm going to say it. He showed a picture or a video. It's on his Twitter. You can go check his Twitter. And it's of Dylan Mortensen. I guess she's dancing at a party or whatever. And he said, looks like she's over it. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, buddy. You can do a lot of things when you're under trauma that you normally would not do when you're not under trauma. Let's just leave it there. Okay. I did a lot worse than what Dylan Mortensen was doing in that video. And I was under the same amount of trauma, less than her, but let's say it hit me about the same because it was my father being killed. So for a year and a half, I drank myself silly. I couldn't tell you my name. I couldn't tell you my age, but I went to work every day and every night because I worked doubles, and I went out every night. And I smiled and I laughed and I sang songs. Jolene was actually one of them. My friend played it on her guitar, and it got me through a lot of my grief. So just because somebody is smiling doesn't mean they're not dying inside. And I was so mad, and I didn't comment on the Twitter because I don't want to be in a Twitter war with nobody. But I just think that that's wrong, that you shouldn't base your life on someone else's because you're living in your parents' house that they gave you in sunny Florida, and you're working on YouTube. Let's just leave it at that. I was pretty pissed today, though, let's just say, because I don't have a problem with him because I don't have a problem with anyone. But that really makes me upset when people sit there and they say, she looks like she's over it. I don't care if it was this case or another case. It don't matter what case it was. But for someone to say that, they haven't put themselves in that position, you know? Plus, life is not supposed to stop. Yes, Doodlebug. And that's what the comments were saying. I was really surprised on the comments. They were actually like, some of the comments were like, well, she should be able to move on. Like, she should be able to. But I just saw it on Twitter today, and I was like, it irked me because, you know, it irks me when people say stuff like that. Because it's like and I don't know, maybe JLR's been through a hell of a lot more in his life than I know. I mean, I know he's been to prison or whatever, and I know that part. But, you know, if you haven't been through anything really traumatic in your life, you can't talk on trauma. You can't. Like, that's why even when I go to the doctor, I'm like, give me someone real. Like, I want someone real. I want to, like, normally, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I like older doctors. I like them when they're a little bit older because they're just, I don't know, new doctors. They're like in their 30s are too scripted differently. I don't know. They don't take my injuries like I'm serious because on the outside, and it's like, well, hello. I don't have metal on the outside. No way they will make him like able, but like Tanya said, his lawyers will try. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Aries. I appreciate you. No, I was mad at him today. I was so mad at him today because he was doing so good. And then I was proud of him there for a little while because he was doing so good. And then he just irked me. I like ATS News too. She's good. She's good. I haven't watched her. I've been watching on replay. I haven't been able to catch live for a while because we go around the same time. And I'm here every night. Oh, see, I haven't. No, so this was earlier today. It was like a video of Dylan Mortensen. She's wearing like a black outfit with like a gold something. Like, I don't know. It's a pretty little outfit. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's just, and that's what it is. And that's what I've learned on my first year of YouTube, that you don't have to be first. Like, because at first I thought I had to be first. Like it was to a fault. It was to a fault. Like, I mean, I would be, you know, grocery store, it didn't matter. I got to get home like right now, or I'm going back on my live, or, you know, and now I've realized that, you know, it may be a smaller group that comes in, But you guys are all here because you want to hear my opinion, you know, like, and I love that. Hey, Bucks, welcome on in. We're just having a little chit chat before we get off the live tonight. Me too. I'd rather have the facts. And that's why I haven't watched any of it. Like, I haven't watched anybody's Idaho streams, not a one, and months. I mean, I am talking like months, 3-4 months. Like, I'm just like, I can't, because it's getting me confused. Because whenever I did hear something on Twitter, I forget what it was something, it wasn't big, it was just like something small. And I was like, did that happen? And I had to go look it up to refresh my own brain. And I was like, we're not going down these rabbit holes again. So we'll probably do a live over that. You know, we did the live one time over the people that were blamed. So we'll probably go back to that. Jan, you're so right. Dylan has the right to have a social life. She does. She was 20 years old when this happened. She didn't even turn 21 yet. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe in a year and a half or 2 years, she may go, oh man, why did I do that? Like I did, you know, like, why did I do that? But things happen, you know, things do happen. And, it's just really scummy that people are like, it's her private Instagram. That's the scummiest part of it all. Like, this is supposed to be her. Like, I know that nothing's private on the internet, but she made it private, you know, like have some, I don't know, just have some decency. Just let her just have a little bit of privacy. Like, I mean, the girl probably can't even go out to get gas in her car or, you know, without people out there. I'm surprised JLR hasn't set up like a tent out there. Oh, thanks, Catherine. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure that if anybody watched my channel, and I'm not saying this, I'm going to say this. Actually, I'm going to say if anybody were to watch, there's a few channels out there. If they were just to go back to the beginning and start from November on, they would gain so much useful information, and they'll still see mistakes that were made, you know, like we all made mistakes. You know, the first video I made, I was asking you guys, who's this Jack Showalter? We didn't know who he was. We knew him as Hoodie Guy then. Because the first big article to come out was New York Times, and it said, who's this mysterious hoodie guy with the victims? So we were all wondering. But that night we watched the full video. We saw him go to the right. We saw them go to the left. And we said, okay. And we said, we're sorry. But then, you know, I resolved to wait. Yeah. I want to wait. I want to see him on the stand, but I want some more information to come out. I think there were some more documents that came out, but they were just like a 10th discovery request or something. So yeah, Camden or Yard, I can see that. But she has been cleared by the cops and everything. She has been cleared. And Bethany was there too. I mean, Bethany could have went out the front door. That's why the front door was left open the next day. Went around through the back door, did the unalivings, went back around to the front. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, don't anybody take that. Someone's going to like come in right now and be like, oh my God, did you hear about this? But you know, like, I mean, no one's really went after Bethany at all. Nobody. Why? Like, I mean, if we're going to be fair, is it because Dylan physically saw Brian Koberger? Is that why so many people are going after Dylan? Because I mean, I really don't, other than that, I don't see the difference. And Bethany and Dylan, other than the floors that they were on, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. Yeah, they live in Nevada, I believe. But yeah, it's just crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here, and I'll be back tomorrow. I think we might do the live tomorrow. I'm going to see how much of the bulbs I can get done. I have to put those little things on the bulbs. They didn't come with them. So, but I will be back tomorrow to do all that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good evening, and thank you for being here. Don't forget to hit the like on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you'd like. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.